How's it, guys? This is Davey FPL and welcome back to the Deadline with Davey live stream. This is going to be the last one of the FPL season, at least for 2024/25. So thanks for joining. As you can see, we're going to be live a little bit earlier than expected. Usually we do go live about an hour before, but decided there were a few requests that we make the last one a bit special. So for an hour and a half, or at least an hour and 22 minutes as of now, I'll be discussing all your guys' questions, talking about my team, reminiscing about the previous game weeks. If they've been good, if they've been bad, we're just going to ignore them and just be happy when this deadline stream's over. But game week 38, as you guys know, every single fixture kicking off in about 2.5 hours time, and therefore you're going to know where you're going to be in the overall ranks by the end of today. So thanks for joining. I'm going to miss you guys in the future game weeks, so be as annoying as possible so that I kind of don't miss you. But I think after about a week of holiday, we might be regretting the FPL season ending. So even if you guys haven't had the greatest season, I'm pretty sure that you will miss FPL in about a week's time. So let's get on to the questions. As always, you guys can post them in chat. I might be doing a little bit of a different thing for you guys that are here so early. On Discord, we might be discussing some of your questions. And then hopefully we get some early team sheet news so that I can decide what moves I'm going to be making. Because at the moment, I definitely will be making a move. I just don't know exactly what it will be. If you're asking why Saliba's in the team, don't worry, I will change it now. I just had him there in case he miraculously recovers or something like that. But Guardiola theoretically should be there. So let's just make that change right now before other people start questioning why Saliba is in my team. But otherwise, the rest of the team looks pretty okay. I think this is probably what I'll be going for. If you guys have any questions, as always, you can post them in chat. But let me start off with some of the earlier ones. So thank you for joining a little bit earlier, as mentioned. Don't worry, Light Rays, we do have the chocolate milk for good luck. It's been a good season for the chocolate milk, so let's hope that it can kind of pay us back a little bit. Also got water here just in case the chocolate milk gets a little bit much for an hour and a half. So in chat, we had a few people. Vincent, get your full suit and chocolate milk ready for the final live stream of the season. Vincent, we don't do the suit for the last stream. The suit is for the first stream. So that's what we will be doing it for. That's my opinion, as game week 1 is the suit, game week 38 is the team you support. So pretty happy as a Liverpool fan to be repping this shirt today. Has been an overall okay season for us. Considering where we were at the start, it's been a great season, but being in all the competitions, it hasn't been that great, but I'm still pretty happy with the Prem, won't lie. So game week 38 is you rep your team, unless you like first in the world. If I was first in the world, then I'd also be wearing a suit, but deadline day is game week 1. So FPL Rahits, as usual, is coming in with an early question saying, thanks for the amazing and great content of the season. Thank you for also the chant. And you've asked your question here, is 1 free transfer, 2.1 in the bank at 41k, KDB to Saka or Bowen, or play KDB and do Munoz to White/Livramento, take a hit and do both moves. Good luck. So this goes for everyone. I don't really like hits in game week 38. The only place I can understand them is that there's a few of you guys on the bench boost. So if you want a bench boost or a player you own is injured, that sort of thing, then hits are okay. But anywhere else, hits are in game week 38 aren't the best, because that means that the hit has to be paid off in one game week, which might be quite tough. So I'd probably stick to one of your earlier moves. I do like KDB to Saka, especially if you want to captain Saka. But I would only do it if we get news that KDB's out. I do like Saka over Bowen more. I feel like there's a higher ceiling there. So that's what I would probably do. And with Munoz, I mean, I think there's going to be a few goals in that Liverpool Crystal Palace game. So I don't mind keeping Munoz. But I think if we get a leak that KDB's out, then it's a definite transfer out. And then hopefully we get something about Saka, which we might not, but I do prefer him over Bowen. So thanks for the question. Hopefully I've answered it right for your final question, as you've said. Siddharth is saying, let's go for the final time. Sky's also with some houses. Panic mode activated already, though. So I don't think it's going to be too much panic unless the team news comes out and it's shocking, like Salah's benched or something like that. That could be quite tough. Chocolate milk for the final day, indeed. How's it, Vince? Gordon or Martinelli? I think either of them are okay. I don't exactly know. I think the chances of them starting are probably pretty similar. I would say that Gordon might be more nailed. I do feel like Martinelli definitely has the better fixture, though. I think I might side towards Gordon a little bit. But let's check the projected points and projected goals a little bit later on. So just remind me. Looks like I'm going into the last week without Salah. Huge mistake. So David, it hasn't been a bad mistake for the past couple game weeks, so you might actually be in for some differential luck there. Who should I captain? I'm in a cup final. He has a bench boost and will probably captain Salah. Should I captain Evan Nielsen, Bowen, or Odegaard? He has Bowen, not the other two. Then I would go for Evan Nielsen. That's maximum differential. Where's the suit, Vernon? As well as David's also asking. So as mentioned, guys, Game Week 1 is the suit. Game Week 38 for me is the team shirt. So you can disagree with me if you think that one. Marius is saying mixed emotion, sound, and picture look Gucci. I didn't even ask for that. So thank you for that one. Is Dinya starting? I'm not the most versed on the Aston Villa lineup, but I'll go check some projected ones for you shortly. If Isaac is out, is Evan Nielsen worth a -4 with Saar first sub? So if Isaac is out, Mark, I think that the -4 is worth doing. I don't see much for Crystal Palace. There could still be goals, but I would probably say that a starting strike against Leicester is worth the -4 for me. So that's what I probably would do if you've already made the move. Thanks, Cliff. I'm hopefully representing SA well enough. Tracy and company, the season has come to an end. It has gone actually by quite quickly, but let's see. No Sunday wear. No, that was for church this morning. Winning mini league, but chasing 7 points for top 50k. Go Welbeck instead of Evan Nielsen. So both are differential. I don't think there's too much between them. I still like Evan Nielsen just because Leicester's Leicester. So I think both of them should do well, but I still prefer Evan Nielsen. Also, is KDB to Saka worth the -4? If we get news that Saka starts, I think it's worth the -4 if we get news that Saka starts and De Bruyne's bench, then that's okay. But it's worth a -4 already if you want to captain Saka. So I always say, if you want to captain a player you bring in for a hit, it just makes it even easier. Pete says, I'm 276th overall bench boost this week. Very excited. So Pete, what's exciting for you, and you probably already know this, is that you've almost guaranteed a clean sheet theoretically, because the bench boost should catch you up quite a few points. So I would also be excited. That's a very nice finish, to be honest. Aaron is saying, you've been part of my FPL journey since 2010. Thanks, Aaron, for the kind words. Keep or sell says, keep or sell Isaac. Keep if we don't get news. Sell if we get news that he's benched. I think that's probably the consensus. What's your transfer plan? So currently my transfer plan is Isaac is going to stay unless we get news. And then I'll be taking Eze to either Bowen, Kluivert, or Semenyo. I think currently leaning towards Bowen, but that could always change. And then we kind of see what happens. But if we do get news that Isaac is kind of benched or is not starting, I will do Isaac to Evan Nielsen for free. So that's my current plan. Looks like Isaac is in the squad. Not sure about starting though. So you guys can always let me know if you see something on Twitter. We've got an hour and 50 minutes left, so there will be a lot to talk about in that sort of time. Who will you pick, Kluivert or Semenyo? Between the two, so let me give you guys the breakdown of these two players because it's almost a ceiling versus expected minutes debate. So what's happened with Kluivert is that he hasn't been getting the minutes. He was subbed off in game week 37 at halftime. Who knows for why he was subbed off? But Semenyo is basically guaranteed minutes, whereas Kluivert has penalties, that sort of thing. So maybe a slightly higher ceiling. So between those two, both differential, it just depends on who gets the most points, and saying who gets the most points is very tough. I would probably say I'm still leaning towards Kluivert just because I feel like he does start. If he gets subbed at halftime, that's going to be a massive disadvantage. But I still feel like Kluivert offers slightly more potential. But both of them, it's very close between them. But if both play the exact amount of minutes, I would go for Kluivert every day of the week. Would you take Mamush or Cunha for Evan Nielsen, or instead use my one free transfer on replacing Saliba? So Vince, I prefer attacking options, but if your defense is looking very bad, then you can take Saliba out. But if you have a player like a Munoz on your bench, I would just play him, and I would target your attackers, and I think you just wait and see if we get early team sheet news. The Man City news has actually been pretty constant, so we should get news about Mamush, hopefully. And I agree with you, it's a little bit of a debate now because Cunha, most of the Wolves strikers are injured apparently. So like Cunha's guaranteed almost to play. So between those two, it's quite tough. But I kind of feel like with Man City, Mamush still has something to play for. I'd probably just still keep him and take Cunha out. Eze or Elanga to Bowen. Are both in your starting 11? Because this could be a debate that doesn't really matter. It could just be both are on your bench and who do you take out, which I think is pretty simple. Then you can literally go for either of them. I would probably say Elanga out though if I was to choose one of the two, but both are maybe on your bench this year, but just let me know if they're not. Actually, I just want to bring up Discord quickly because I think there was a nice question that someone asked. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of bring up a question from Discord to help explain to you guys what I kind of think you should do if you're chasing your mini league or if you kind of not. So let me just see if this kind of comes up on okay, let me see if this is gonna pop up on stream. Give me a second here. You guys can just let me know if this looks okay. Okay, so it looks fine. Let me just maybe make one adjustment. Okay, so let me just maybe make this a bit wider so that you guys can see the full team. Let me make it a bit more central. So basically, this was a question from Adnan on Discord. So this is his team for this upcoming game week. And this is his opponent's team. So he's chasing someone that is first in his mini league, but you guys can use this methodology for either way. So let's, for example, say that you are second. You're going to be going for players that first doesn't own. And if you first, you're going to go for players that your second does own. So I'll give you both examples here for Adnan's team. So as you guys can see, maybe just try and memorize, but I'll be flipping between the two. So if this was my team initially, my thoughts are, okay, if Isaac starts, obviously depending if Isaac starts or not, let's say Isaac starts, my move this week would probably be Eze to another midfielder. I think defensively, Martinez is okay. Burn, Guardiola, Kyria, those fixtures are fine. I feel like Rodgers is okay and Bumo Salah obviously all right. Watkins, Visa, and Isaac, if he starts, also looking pretty good. So I do feel like Eze, although he's on form, might be the weak point in this team. And also defensively, if your guys' defense looks like this, you don't have to take Saliba out. Maybe do a more attacking move. So initially Eze out. Depending on the money, if you can afford a Saka, he could be an option. Otherwise, it's the more kind of template three. It's Bowen, it's Kluivert, or it's Semenyo. So now let's go on to his opponent's team. So let's say that Adnan was first in his mini league. Now looking at his opponent's team, you can see there are a few players that have some differences here. The defense should look almost alright. Adnan has an advantage already because he's got an Arsenal defender in Kyria. So his opponent will probably play a back three of maybe Konza, Guardiola, Burn, or maybe Munoz instead of Konza. Goalkeeper's the same there, but he might start Raya. So overall, the team looks sort of similar. Defensively though, so that's a kind of checkbox. From an attacking point of view, it's Watkins, Isaac. The big difference is Wood, but you can see Adnan has Visa, which I think has the advantage this week, as Wood as Chelsea. But in the midfield department, here's where we have our change. So you can see that the opponent has Bowen. So therefore, if Adnan was first in his mini league, I would say go Eze to Bowen to block off those points. So whatever points Bowen gets, you're also going to get. So then your second place player has one less differential player to your team. However, the situation is that Adnan's second and he's actually chasing first. So then what I would do is instead of Bowen, I would go for someone like a Kluivert or a Semenyo or a Saka. And that way you're differentiating your team. So whatever players Kluivert, Semenyo or Saka gets, or whatever points they get, that's going to be straight differential to your first team's place. So that's how you guys must kind of use that methodology. And there was a few questions over on my Discord channel about it, and I try to help some people out with their teams. So just let me know if that's useful. I can maybe go over some more examples if you guys want to. But I just wanted to stress that. That's just basically the logic of chasing versus defending. Defending is you want to get as many players as your second place team, whereas attacking is you want to get as many players that are different. So let's hope that was kind of useful for you guys. Zakia has been a legend member for 33 months. Thank you for the continued support, brother. Saying, hi, Davey, the big 33. I'm first in my mini league. My team is very similar to yours, and my opponent, I'm 7 points ahead. What would you do? Go Maverick? So if you first in your mini league, I would just do what I just showed. Defend against that second place opponent. Look, if you don't want to do that as well, you can just go for whatever players you think will score the most points. Because if your opponent has Bowen, but you think Kluivert scores more than Bowen, then you can always just go for Kluivert. You don't have to defend too aggressively. And I think that's where you have to balance kind of your overall rank and your mini leagues. That's the only tough part. Okay, thanks Vernon for that one. Thanks for the update on Isaac. Yes, Akia, are you in the Discord on the Legend chat? If you are, just post both teams in Discord and I'll try and go over them for you. Okay, cool. So okay, just post both screenshots and I'll go over them for you. I'll try to help you out. We do have a few extra minutes here, so this is reward for those of you that are in the stream a bit early. We can go over some potential moves that you guys should be making. -4, Satu Rice, 8 points, first in my mini league. I don't know about Rice. I might just go for Bowen or Kluivert or Semenyo. I mean, Rice could do well. Don't get me wrong. But a -4 is a bit, like if I say I'm doing a -4, I don't want to think of Rice on the other end. He's not as exciting, but I mean, he could still score points. I would probably just defend though. Unless your opponent has Rice, then it could be worth the -4. But just remember, don't take more hits than your lead is worth, because then that negates your lead. Will you play 2 City defense or Rodgers? Vernon would always go for the attacker. I'd play Rodgers. I don't think Game Week 38 is the week for your defenders, I'm going to be honest. And we saw this with the stats. Game Week 38 has the most goals out of any game week historically. So we're looking at some major moves here. Okay, cool. Let me bring up your teams here. Okay, we can actually do this exercise on stream together to help you, those of you guys out that maybe also don't want to do this. Okay, so for some reason, okay, let me just close this one. It opened up the other team really small. Okay, cool. So let me just bring up these. Just give me a second. Okay, so here's Zakia's team. Okay, cool. So we can do the same exercise as you did for Adnan. So overall team looks similar to myself. You've just got Rodgers instead of Asensio. And then you've got Ruben Diaz instead of Guardiola. So overall team looks okay. I can understand this is a pure kind of blocking exercise as you are first. So let's go over the differences in your opponent. Okay, so let's think about what they're going to be playing this week. So they'll be starting Raya. You have Kiwior. Okay, they'll probably go for Konza. You have Martinez, though. There's a difference in Ruben Diaz and Guardiola, which I don't think is as major if both of them do start, though. And then the final decision for him is going to be Munoz or Williams versus your Dan Burn, which I feel like Dan Burn might be slightly ahead. In terms of midfielders, very similar, except he has Saka now. So Saka's the big one. And up front, he has Watkins, Visa, and Mateta to your Isaac. So if Isaac is out, I think the logical move is going to be Evan Nielsen or Welbeck. I think Evan Nielsen slightly for me. So that's if Isaac is confirmed out. So he probably will do either Mateta or Sa out for me. So you have potentially 3 points that might be different. So if Isaac stays, it's Isaac versus whoever if he takes out Mateta. If Isaac does start, at least you have that extra bonus. So if Isaac does start, it's kind of predicting what he's going to do, which I think is tough. Do you have, as a kid, do you have enough for Saka or not? If you don't have enough for Saka, which I probably think that you don't, then you might just have to predict what he's going to do. And that's tough. I don't know what he's going to do, to be honest. He could do Sa to someone. He could do Mateta. I'd probably say Mateta to Evan Nielsen is probably the logical move, especially if he watches content. Then I think Evan Nielsen will probably be what he does. So then what I might do is take Eze, but I don't think you have to bench anyone. I think your team looks okay. But what I might do is I might do Eze to Kluivert or Semenyo and then bench Rodgers or Murphy. Maybe Murphy more. That's what I probably would do, Zakia. But let's wait for Isaac news. If Isaac's out, then Evan Nielsen's the easy one. And I think your opponent will do Evan Nielsen anyways. But yeah, your situation's a bit tougher. Because I Okay, GW38. So still don't feel like you can afford Saka though, right? I don't think you can. So let's just wait on Isaac news. If Isaac's out, Evan Nielsen. Otherwise, I would just do Bowen. I'd probably do Bowen, Clive or Semenyo, maybe edging Bowen slightly because that just differentiates you. But it's tough because this week we don't know what your opponent's going to do. So you almost have to get into their mind. I don't know if you have more context of them, but if it's like your mate, try and fish out of them what move they're going to do. Would you play Raya or Areola? Definitely Raya. Who would you cap this week if you didn't have Salah? I think Evan Nielsen. I think out of the Bournemouth players, he's the most nailed. Will you play two? Okay, I've already answered that question. Sorry. Got a 7-point mini league in my... So your team looks okay, I think. Your team looks fine. How many transfers do you have? The geographical term. Start Ait Nori or Konza. So Wolves are playing Brentford. Do you have... If you have Mbuma or Visa, then I would go for Konza. Because let's be honest, bro, you probably don't have United attackers. David saying 12 points lead in my mini league, only 0.1 in the bank. Should I transfer out KDB for Saka and remove Mateta for Evan Nielsen, taking -4? Or just remove... I would just remove Mateta for Evan Nielsen. And then let's see if we get some news on KDB and Saka. That's what I'd probably say. Okay, Zakia, yeah, so I think that's logically what he'll do. I think the upside of the forwards is more than the midfielders. So I feel like he will do Mateta to Evan Nielsen. And then the differences with your team is going to be Isaac versus Evan Nielsen if Isaac starts. And then it's going to be Saka versus whoever you keep, which right now is Murphy or Rogers, which I would be slightly worried about. I'm slightly worried about Murphy, but I think he should be okay to start. For me, it doesn't really matter. But when I do look at my debate about who to play, I might actually bench Murphy instead of Asensio. My team is identical to yours with Wood as my striker instead of Visa. My opponent has a 12-point lead with players Watkins, Visa, De Bruyne. Okay, so that's easy. If you have Chris Wood, I would do Wood to Evan Nielsen. Can you do that? Munoz to Kirk is for a -4 on bench boost. So sure, I don't think I'll do a -4 for a defender because what you're saying is that he basically has to get a clean sheet or an attacking return to offset that -4, and where Munoz might actually do the same. Will be funny if the guys moves are predicted watch the streams. Cammy, that's what I thought when I was going through the teams. I was like, imagine his opponent is also thinking this. But yeah, KDB benched apparently. Okay, let me go and refresh Twitter quickly. De Bruyne doesn't start. Okay, guys, that's big. For you guys that have De Bruyne, he does not start. If you guys want to take him out, you can potentially look at that. And because De Bruyne started, I think Mamush might play. So that's kind of the big news, though. That's semi-confirmed, it looks like. So KDB out is looking good for you managers. Okay, I'm just checking if there's been anything else. Okay, so there was a leak that Mamush, De Bruyne, and Haaland all start, which has now been deleted. So just don't take that one. And Isaac starts, which is now, because the Man City leaks are bad, it means that that leak is also untrue. So if you guys have Kevin De Bruyne, obviously that means that you should look at taking him out. So I think KDB to Saka, if we get news about Saka, looks pretty good. Asensio to Bowen, that could be okay. If you're asking about my team, I don't know. And who would you captain? Okay, so this is tough because I don't know who he's gonna captain. I still think I would go Salah if you have Salah. I think you don't have to be in a position where you have to punt, and I think Salah's fairly safe this week. If you look at projections, if you look at kind of gameplay state, that sort of thing, I think Salah looks okay. I'm gonna wait a few more minutes before we go over projected clean sheets and projected goals, just because I think that that's going to be a slightly more popular time. So I don't have to repeat those then. So if you guys are waiting for those projected goals, projected clean sheets, just give me about 20 minutes or 15 minutes. If you really need them, we can go over them. But otherwise, I think that we can just chill for now, answer a few more questions, go over if there's any more news and that sort of thing. What I will say is that Victoria's Secret, you tagged me in this post earlier. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me just... So this is from Craig Hope _DM. He said that for those asking about Isaac, there will be an update in his WhatsApp channel. I have not joined the WhatsApp channel, but if one of you guys does want to go and join it, I would appreciate that. And then you guys can give us the leaks, whatever they are. But as mentioned, I've not joined the channel. So if you guys want to, that would be appreciated. But for the time being, we'll just wait and see if someone else joins it. So yeah, currently don't have that, but if someone does want to join it, I would appreciate that, as mentioned. If Isaac plays, does Watkins plus Saar to Evan Nielsen plus Saka for free is good. I don't know about Watkins to Evan Nielsen. I think I might, but as you said, you're trying to get Saka in. So if you want to captain Saka Milos, then I think it's okay. But I feel like Watkins can still do pretty well this week. So I would look at potentially like a Saar to someone else, like that's more affordable, like a Bowen or a Kluivert. Philippe says, hey Davey, good luck and have fun. Thank you, you too, brother. Asensio to Saka from -4. Mario, if you want to captain Saka. Otherwise, I'd wait for news. I can't recommend Saka until we know he starts. And that's the risk with him. Look, I do think he will start, though. If there are those of you that are concerned, I think it should be a pretty okay team. But yeah, KDB being benched is a big one. I think that's going to push up the Saka ownership dramatically. I think KDB to Saka is probably the most reliable move. OMG, I missed the start. Any chocolate milk? More importantly, where's your final man? So Vincent, I mentioned, I answered this question. I got the chocolate milk here. And for me, game week 1 is the suit game week. So if you guys saw the start of this season, I wore the suit because game week 1 is the deadline day, whereas game week 38 is the team day. So that's why I've got the Liverpool shirt on today. I just feel like game week 1 is where I wear the suit. So that's my take on it. I apologize for disappointing you guys and not looking as fresh as I could have. So Darth has been a legend member for 39 months. Absolutely insane. Says, Davey, firstly, thanks for everything. Also, could you check the Legends chat? I need to gain 6 points in my mini league. Okay, let's go and see if we can bring up some teams here. Okay, so Darth, just post your team as well, because otherwise I have to scroll up and find it. So just post your team as well in the chat and I'll try and get to it. Let me see if I can find it somewhere. Okay, I can't see it. You must just post your team as well. I know you have your opponent's team, but I don't know what your team is. Oh, sorry, my mistake. I have the same team as yours, sorry. I have 1 free transfer and 2.9 in the bank. So in terms of your team, you'll start Livramento over Williams. I think Munoz will be there. He's got Palmer. Maybe Palmer. No, does he keep Palmer? 6 points behind in your mini league. Okay. So I think you don't have to stress too much. He has a benching dilemma to make, as well as a transfer dilemma to make. So I would say just do what I do and just stick with that. He's captain Palmer last week, which is interesting, but I think he'll go Salah this week. So I think all you have to do is if you want to go differential, you can. And that'll be whatever player we bring in. So that'll be a Bowen, that'll be a Kluivert. So Sadat, that's what you have to do. And then Ross, you've posted, your opponent has his bench boost. Okay, that's very tough. Okay, his bench, he's going to have to replace Saliba though. I think your team is differential enough. So what I would do is I would do KDB out to Saka He doesn't have Saka, and I would captain Saka then, Ross. That's what I would do. Thank you for the questions, though, guys. Do appreciate it. So, Darth, let me know if that's sufficient for you. Any free memberships to celebrate, Vincent? Just let me know where you are on your rank, because if my FPL advice has helped you, then you can just get a free membership by your mini league winnings. That's the best. The best is when people come to me and they say, I've won $2 million in my mini league. Here's your 80% cut. Remember, we're on an 80% cut share basis, guys, if you watch the channel. I'm only joking. You must enjoy your own money. But Vincent, you can use some of your mini league winnings for your free membership from yourself. We'll see maybe next season. Best of luck for the final game week, says Gia. Thinking of moving Saar to either Semenyo and Arsenal mid if we get leaks. What are your moves? So my moves are probably Eze out for Kluivert, Semenyo, or Bowen, and then benching one of Jacob Murphy and Asensio. Rob TFPL has updated his graphs. Okay, let me make sure that I have the most up-to-date graph. Okay, I have the one that was an hour ago. Let me see if it's been updated since then. Okay, I have the one that's been updated an hour ago. So I will be posting the most up-to-date ones. Hey Dave, I got a front three of Wood, Wiese, and Watkins with 6.8 in the bank. Who should I bring in? I would go Wood to Evan Nielsen. You can go Welbeck if you want, as they're both differential, but Welbeck will be more differential. I think either of those two are good. That's what I would do. Don't get bogged down by how much money you have in the bank, though, Sky. 56 only now, 1K last season. Thanks to Vincent. Then we can dip into those funds of last season's winnings. Then that sounds like a plan. I'm behind that. 64 points ahead in my mini league. Should I bring in Saka and Salah for a hit? My opponent has Salah. Elohim, I have some great advice for you now, brother. Is that you can just get a drink, just chill. 64 points. I think it's going to be a miracle if that's overcome in 1 week. I think that you should be okay. So you can relax and just enjoy that first place in your mini league. I wouldn't worry too much about blocking Salah this week. You could bring in Salah if you want to block him off dramatically, but I mean Salah's going to have to score like 8 goals and you won't have to captain him, and your opponent will captain him to make up 64 points. So I think you can relax and just play whatever team that you think will score the most points this week. The same team only have De Bruyne instead of Eze, one transfer. Philippe, I would do De Bruyne to Saka. That's what I would do, Philippe. And your team must have super good team value if you're able to do that. How do you know if Asensio will start against United? So Zane, projected clean sheets say like there's a good chance, but it might be a little bit sketch, and that's why I might just bench him, because I don't know the certainty of him being played. And even if he plays, he might be subbed off early. Thoughts on Haaland this week? Vincent, I mean, if you have Haaland, you can always keep him. City have something to play for. I would recommend targeting teams as something to play for. That's why I like Aston Villa. I like Man City. I like Newcastle. All these teams have to win. They have to score goals. So I do like them. And also Liverpool, they're getting the trophy. So no one wants to see a trophy after being battered like 5-0. So I think Liverpool also pretty okay. Will says, what's your plan today? Should I start KDB? So Will, thank you for joining the stream firstly. Second of all, you've come to the right place because KDB's benched. So I would take him out. And I would do KDB to Saka probably. Rumored bench going, KDB/Eze, Saka/Bowen, chasing 4 and 20 points in mini league. Good idea. Rumored benched going, KDB/Eze. Saka/Bowen, chasing 4 and 20 points. Good idea. Okay, Andy, just maybe post the question again. So, are you saying that you have Kevin De Bruyne and Eze, and you want to take them to Saka and Bowen? Those moves look great. I mean, those moves look good. Oh, missed the first part above. Okay, sorry, thank you. Was going Palmer/Eze to Saka/Bowen from -4. But with KDB rumored bench, okay, 100% going KDB/Eze. I think that looks good. Also lets you keep Palmer as a differential. I think those moves look great. I like that. Sorry for missing the first part, Andy. Thanks for clarifying that. Should I start Martinez away to United or Flecken away to Wolves? I'd probably go Martinez. He's on back-to-back clean sheets. I was about to say Haddies. No worries, Andy. No. You don't have to be concerned. It's my fault. Yeah, I nearly said Haddies for Martinez. I mean, if he does score a Haddie, that's great. Okay, Mamush starts. If you guys have Mamush, he's starting as well as Guardiola. And Guardiola starting left back. That's going to be good for that attacking threat. So I'm pretty happy about that one. And guys, I wouldn't trust everything that you guys see on Twitter. There's been a few stinkers here that I'm looking at. So don't trust everything that you guys see over there. I can't afford Saka, right? If I take out Eze. No, damn it. Okay. I'm off by 0.9, so it's close, but it's not successful. So 9.5. Could I afford a? Could have gone for a Kevin De Bruyne if he played, but yeah. So Eze out looks like the most sensible move. He is my most expensive player. The only thing I'm contemplating is Murphy versus Sensio. Oh, so a lot of people asked me for this. No one has asked for it in chat, but people have asked me for a freer draft. Okay, so I'm glad I just remembered that, but people have been asking me about a freer draft. So let's go and build a freer draft. So obviously a lot depends on if Isaac is going to start. If Isaac does start, great. If he doesn't, it might be quite tough. So I'd probably go Danny Welbeck and I'd go for Evan Nielsen up front. I think Salah is also okay. This is going to be dependent if you guys are going super differential on your free hit, but if you're going differential, don't go for Salah. If you are going differential, I would go for Salah. I think I would go for Saka. I think I would go, I'm just trying to think, I would go Raya. And I would go for White. Then I would go for Shaw. And I think I would go for Kirkes. Okay, now, so that's our forward department and our defensive department, fine. Now it's our midfield department. Let's think a bit here. I'm just trying to think about how much money. Like, do you go in Bumo? I don't know if you go in Bumo. Fixture is okay, though. Let's just put in Bumo there for now. I just don't know if I think he's the... Maybe I wouldn't go for Bumo and I would go for Bowen and Kluivert. Then your bench can just basically pick itself. I think you should have enough money. I mean, that's 22.2 million divided by 4. What, average about 5 point whatever. I think that would be over what I'd go for. The only thing I'm thinking about is, would you go for a second attacker from Newcastle? I don't know if I would. I think if Isaac is out, then I would go for a 5 in midfield. But if Isaac's going to play, I think he's sufficient enough. I like this front 3. The midfield department, you can drop Salah if you want to, but I think overall it looks okay. And then the defense, I think, is fine. It just depends on what you want to double up on. And I think this is probably the structure I would look at. So you guys let me know if there's any changes you would make, but this is probably what I would look at. Let me maybe check if I had to do it on projected points, what it would say. Okay, so the projected points are pretty similar. they do prefer a double up with Newcastle. And then they say Palmer instead of Bowen or Kluivert. Let me just screenshot this and send it to the Discord. Because I don't think everyone is going to be on the stream. Okay, cool. I think if you guys are on the free hit, it must be an exciting week to actually use the free hit. A sucker the Nell transfer for KDB and why? I just feel like he has the highest ceiling. I just feel like he has a great fixture. I think Southampton will probably be quite attacking. It's the last home game. They want to put on a good show for the fans. And I feel like Arsenal will be a bit more free-flowing because they also have nothing to play for. They've got their Champions League spot and they got second. So they might be a bit more open, might be a bit more of an open game. But I also do like someone like a Kluivert and a Semenyo. It's only, I just wish Kluivert was guaranteed 90 minutes, for example, because then I think he's a no-brainer. But right now, with him being subbed so often, and it's like at weird times, like 45 minutes, what does that tell us? I don't know. So yeah, well, I think it is Saka, especially if we get news that he's going to be starting. Need to bench 2 out of Eze, Asensio, Murphy, and Neco Williams. Who would you bench? Okay, I would bench Eze and Neco Williams. Christian, almost similar as what I'm doing. Vincent, KDB plus Rodgers plus Watkins to Saka, Diaz, Evan Nielsen -8. Would start from 67k if so. KDB to Saka, that's okay. Rodgers to Diaz, I think you can just do the KDB to Saka move for free and then just keep the other 2. I don't think it's necessary, Vincent. Please recommend captaincy choices, safest and differential. So I think Salah's the safe option. I think Saka's probably up next, especially if we get news he starts. And then I would probably say someone like an Evan Nielsen is 3rd for me. That's what I would maybe say. I'd go there. I mean, there are selections like Palmer, but the fixtures aren't great. There are captaincies like Bowen. He's also okay. I think he's also fine. So it just depends on what you want to go for. The one thing I want to know is Bowen on penalties? This is probably something that I should know. But as far as I know... Okay, it's Paqueta, they say. Okay, so Paqueta's taken 1. Paqueta's taken 2 out of the last 3. It's been Paqueta, Bowen, Paqueta. But maybe Paqueta was off the field when Bowen took this one. They haven't got a penalty since December 16th, though. That doesn't look too great. Man City double up, Dave. That's okay. Defensively or what you're talking about? Okay, so apparently Isaac is with the squad. Hopefully, I mean it's the same WhatsApp group. But he said a Swede starts. Best assistant manager this week. Okay, I'm gonna rely on the ever reliable Rob T FPL, and maybe this is a good segue to do the projected points. So let's go over to Rob T FPL. And he posted is it just me or his tweets not updated? Okay, I'm just trying to see something here. Okay, I'm just trying to bring up. Okay, here we go. I found them. Okay, so someone also asked me over on Discord earlier, who do I think is the best assistant manager this week. So once again, these are from Rob TFPL. It's just cut off his name right at the top. I do apologize for that one, Rob. So what I basically said is, because people were asking me, who's the best assistant manager, and they want to be differential. So basically how I translate that is they want to go for a fixture that has the positional bonus, where it's basically you're facing a team 5 places above you, you get extra points for a win, extra points for a draw. Now for me, most of these positional advantage games are simply terrible. You've got Amaron versus Aston Villa, who have to win for Champions League. That's a no-go. You've got Ange versus Aston Villa, against Brighton, where Ange and his entire Spurs team is absolutely sourced, so I wouldn't go there either. Then you've got Glasner versus Liverpool getting the trophy today. Then you've got Leicester against Bournemouth. I don't think there's much going to happen there. And then you've got finally David Moyes versus Newcastle. Newcastle have to win for Champions League. So none of these fixtures scream great to me, except for maybe the top one, which is Pereira, who's the Wolves manager. He has Brentford at home. That's okay, but I still feel like there's not a chance of like a potential upset. There could be though. I just don't know. So I think that you maybe just go super boring and target a fixture that you think is going to be points. It's going to have goals, it's going to have a clean sheet, and that might be the Bournemouth manager. So this week isn't the week for me for these differential kind of games, except if you want to go for the Wolves manager. But I don't know if there's much in that one. That's probably the only positional game I would look at. Otherwise, I think you go for Bournemouth or you go for Eddie Howe or Teta. But I think Leicester has the highest ceiling for goals and a clean sheet. Nanad, you are saying KDB to who? Okay, so if you can't afford Kevin De Bruyne to Saka, then you can look at Bowen, you can look at Kluivert, you can look at Semenyo. That's forward, what I would say. Is KDB out? Kirky is, but I see that Mohammed has answered your question already. Play Ruben or Konza. I already have Guardiola. I would go for Ruben Diaz. And that's an excellent leeway to actually... Okay, so I posted the wrong... Okay, let me just bring across this graphic. Okay, let's go over this graphic then. Let me just bring it across so you guys can see it. You can see that Jared Bowen is on the side, but don't worry, West Ham actually aren't the best point scorers this week. So shout out there. You can see Rob TFPL at the top there. Thank you, Rob TFPL, for these graphics. Let's now go over the actual projections. So in terms of goals this week, we have a ton of fixtures to target. Number one is going to be Arsenal, 2.8. We then have Liverpool on 2.7 and Bournemouth on 2.7. So projections super high for a lot of these teams. We have Brighton on 2.4. So if you want to go well back, also looks good. We have Newcastle 2.5. That looks great. Then a couple of teams around the 2 mark. Man City 2.1, West Ham 1.9, Aston Villa 1.95, Brentford 1.9, Chelsea 1.85. So a lot of goals going to be scored for these teams. So the matchups are looking okay. But someone was asking me, clean sheet chance, should they go for Konza or should they go for Ruben Diaz? You guys can see Aston Villa 28%, Man City 34%. And I agree with that. I would probably go for Man City's Ruben Diaz over Konza. So you guys can use this for those benching dilemmas, as well as any attacking transfers you want to make. So if you basically considering Evan Nielsen versus Welbeck, I think that I slightly prefer Evan Nielsen, and so do the projections, 2.7 compared to 2.4. But I think in terms of goal share, it's quite similar between them, because Evan Nielsen, Bournemouth, the goals are shared a bit more, whereas with Brighton, maybe Danny Welbeck's more of a talisman. And actually, I think Evan Nielsen's not on penalties, whereas Danny Welbeck might be. So that's also to consider. Rodgers versus Murphy is interesting. So Newcastle high projections 2.5, but I would probably say Rodgers is slightly more attacking than Murphy is. I think what we can do here is we can maybe look at some projected points. So let's go over Rodgers versus Murphy. Yeah, so Rodgers is leading, and I agree with that. I think he's more attacking. So we can leave this up for the time being. Okay, so Isaac has been spotted. Look at this photo. He has he has the motion. He's got the aura with those glasses on. So let's hope that that's a start. That was from Focal's Twitter. Trippier's also with the squad. And apparently Bowen also starts if you guys were looking at him, but I don't know how confirmed that is. But yeah, Isaac is with the squad. The only question is, will he start? And I at least hope he will. So now that means what we have to do is decide between Bowen, Kluivert, or Semenyo. Let's maybe see if we can get some Bournemouth projections. I want to know if Kluivert's going to start. Okay, let's go over here. Where's the Bournemouth? I don't even know if we have Bournemouth projections. Actually, I want to see the Newcastle projections. Okay, Murphy looks like he's guaranteed to play. Okay, I don't see Bournemouth projections. I might have to just Google them, to be honest. Vincent, why are you tagging me in Dubai pictures? Yeah, that's all we've had. We've just have a picture of Isaac and he's walking down the tunnel. So not that much. Sorry, let me just go back to the projections. I forgot that I switched them off. And Derici coming in, the massive 41 months legend. I said I'll sacrifice my FPL season for a Spurs trophy. I got my wish. I genuinely didn't think it would happen though. Worth it next season. So Derici, at least the sacrifice was worth it, brother. Congrats to you. I'm happy for all you Spurs fans. As a Liverpool fan, I was pretty happy when United didn't win the trophy. Apologize to United fans, but I'm sure you can understand. So I'm glad for you. I'm happy that you ended up winning. What's the likely move for the final week? The likely move now, I would say that Isaac has been pictured walking. Yes, walking means he's available to play. I think it's definitely going to be Eze out to Kluivert, Semenyo, or Bowen. I'm just deciding between those three. And I might lead a poll to decide. The Gija has also posted a super chat saying Saka, Bowen, Beto in. Would Asensio, KDB out from -4? Okay. So KDB to Saka I like. Bowen to Asensio is okay. I don't know about the Wood to Beto one though. Can you do someone different? Can you maybe do a Welbeck? I don't even know if you have to take Asensio out. You could just leave Asensio and rather do KDB and Wood out to Saka and Evan Nielsen. That also looks better. I don't think you have to do the -4. Praying for Asensio to do something to justify that hit. Well, I am also praying, but I might even be benching him. David, our rank, now that KDB is benched, would you suggest KDB to Bowen and protect rank, or KDB to Saka? I won't captain him. I still feel like I would go KDB to Saka, especially if we get news that he starts. We also have a super chat from Derici also saying, next season, I'm starting triple up with Frimpong, Salah, and Wirtz. Geez, so Derici, please do not jinx the Wirtz transfer. But I am hoping that he does join the club. Nikhil, the transfer plan, as mentioned, is probably going to be Eze out and then bench Asensio or Murphy. Only just got on any team news transfer plan. So Adam, the team news, that's the big team news, is KDB is benched, Mamusha starting. We've got news that Isaac is with the squad at least, so I'm hoping that he starts, but let's see. Let's hope we finish the season with a bang. Been a brutal season this year, Will. So let's hope the next season. But I think according to my history, I can confirm this. But according to my history, next season should be a banger. Let me just check here. Yeah, so next season is going to be a banger according to the rank history. It looks like a top 10Ks on the cards. Obviously, I don't think there's patterns and everything, but I mean, in terms of the rank history, we could be there. So yeah, well, thank you for the Legend membership of 40 months, as well as Dorichi. Absolutely insane amount of support, you guys. Do appreciate it. Would you do Murphy out from -4 for Bournemouth or Arsenal mid? Means I would bench Asensio, says Cammy. This is tough, because I still feel like Murphy can do okay. I think if you want to captain the Bournemouth or the Arsenal mid, then yes. But otherwise, it's close. I think it depends if you think Asensio is going to start or not. If you think there's some concern, then I think it's okay. But then you could also just take out Asensio instead of Murphy. Probably get some high value. Sadesh, do you plan on playing the Club World Cup Fantasy? No, I don't really play the international competitions. I used to with the World Cup and the Euros and stuff like that. But I want the break, and especially with work, I think it gives me a bit more time to focus on work then. The system might crash. Have the basics in order, i.e. benching order, vice captain. Exactly, Elvis. So good reminder from Elvis there. Just make sure that your guys' team is set up in case there are some crashes. But I think theoretically there shouldn't be. I think that FPL has upgraded their servers. My timeline is literally just Isaac walking videos. It's literally all it is. Bench Watkins or Isaac? I'd preferably try and play both of them, Marco. Oh, sorry. No, got fried. Sorry. Marco, your question was start Konza or Bradley. I think Konza at the moment, just because I don't know if Trent's going to start or not. That's the only thing. Why are people captaining out of form / low return Salah against good form Crystal Palace? I think it's just more of the occasion. I think Salah, the form hasn't been great, but Liverpool's still been getting chances. And I feel like Crystal Palace have been on a pretty good trajectory because of the kind of FA Cup, that sort of thing. Whereas now with nothing to play for, I don't see them being as tight of a team defensively. I still feel like they're going to be pretty free-flowing going forward. I think Sa, Eze, Mateta is still great. But I just feel like out of the options this week, he looks okay. I think if Saka's guaranteed to start, he might be the best option. I'd say Bowen's okay, but it is an away game. And the other option is Kluivert, but he might be subbed at 45 minutes. So that's why I prefer Evan Nielsen. So there are a few options for Campsy this week. I just think Salah's almost the no-brainer pick. But yeah, if you guys want to go differential, there's so many options for the differential appeal. But I feel like if Salah's on it, then he's definitely the best option. Besides Saka, maybe, slightly. Is Bowen a good shot from -4 anyone else? So Andy, kind of depends on who you're taking out. But I think Bowen's fine. I don't think Bowen might be like the 3 goals, but I think he might be a goal and an assist or like a 2 kind of attacking return. But yeah, I feel like Bournemouth have the highest ceiling, and I think you can see that from the projected goals. I have to bench one of Isaac, Watkins, and Visa. I own Mbumo. Okay, I can try and go over projected points for you. So Isaac currently isn't great. So in terms of your team, in terms of projected points, Isaac is actually the worst. But I think that you might bench Visa out of those 2. I just feel like that. Eze has KDB out. Yeah, Andy, that looks okay. Is Bowen a good shot from -4 anyone else? Okay, are you going back to your previous question? Because I think, yeah, you said Bowen, that's fine. Like Bowen, between Bowen, Kluivert, and Semenyo, it's close. But you're getting Saka for KDB anyways. Thanks for the whole season, Hashem. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Evan Nielsen on for -4 and play instead of Murphy. On paper, I think that pays off, but it's a risk. Any hit in game week 38, especially if you're taking a player that is going to start, is a risk at the end of the day. And that's why the conservative approach is not to take hits. But it's also game week 38, and if you guys want to have fun, you got to do it. Have a go, you know. Would you take a -4 to move Munoz to Kirky? It's probably not useful. I'll just play whatever you have. I think a hit for a defender in game week 38 is quite tough. No other team sheet news as of now. Not sure what to do now. Got KDB, Eze, and Isaac in my main 11. Not got a lot of bench coverage. Beto, Malay, and Saar. Do I take a -4? KDB, Isaac out for Saka / Salah. And Mumush / Watkins. Okay, wait. So you've got what to do now. KDB and Eze and Isaac. Okay, so you take KDB out, take Eze out. KDB, Isaac out for... No, so you... Oh, okay, so you're saying Saka / Salah and Mumush / Watkins. It's tough because we don't have news, Adam, that Salah's starting. So if we get news that... I mean, Saka's starting. If we get news that Saka's starting, he might be a better pick than Salah is this week. And Mumush / Watkins, I would go for Watkins... But I would probably just keep Isaac. I would rather take out KDB and Eze and then go for Saka / Salah and then whoever you can afford for Eze, whether that be a Bowen, whether that be a Kluivert, a Semenyo, that sort of thing. Bowen is starting. I did see that, but I didn't see a source for it, which I don't know. I could like it, but the prediction is that Bowen starts. I mean, he's like the main West Ham player. Any Arsenal Liverpool leaks? None at the moment. Hi, bud. Cut a couple of options, says Fintam. 2 free transfers. Saka for Eze and Saliba for White. Or Mumush for Evan Nielsen and Saliba for White. So Mumush is starting, so you have to take him out. Saka for Eze and Saliba for White. Or Mumush for and Saliba. So, can you do Saka for Eze? And then Saliba for... Yeah, you can do Saka for Eze and Saliba for White. Yeah, I would do that. Because Mumush is starting, Fintam. Priced out of the Saka move by 0.1. Martinelli thoughts. I might just go Bowen or Kluivert Semenyo then. Best triple captain shout, says Harry Pratt. Nice to see you, brother. Triple captain shout. You could go... you could go for someone like Salah. Because most people will captain him, but not everyone's going to triple captain him. So if you think Salah's going to do well, then I would go for Salah. Otherwise, you can go super differential, Saka, Evan Nielsen, Kluivert, Semenyo, Bowen, those sort of things. That's if you want to go super differential. But triple captaining is differential enough because not many people do have the chip left. Okay, cool. Adam, that looks pretty good. That looks good. No worries. Chris just got home. How's it going? It's good and you, Chris. 60 clear my mini league, but got cup final. Okay, got to start 2 of Isaac, Munoz, Saar, and Neco Williams, or take a hit. No free transfers. Got to start 2. I would start Isaac and I would start Saar for the differential appeal. Not the yeah, just the attacking appeal. Sorry. Does Moreno start? Does EXE start? Sammy, I don't know who EXE is. Oh, Eze. Does Eze start? Yeah, Eze will start. Does Moreno start? I don't know. There's been no news about that. Leading by 2 points. Both my opponents have Bowen. Will I get him in for Eze or get a Bournemouth mid? If you want to defend, the easy players just get Bowen in, and that defends them from the points. I would probably do that because I don't think it's a certainty that Bowen is outperformed by Kluivert or Semenyo, so I would just block the transfer and go for Bowen. Isaac starts apparently. I see that he's at the club. I didn't see anything about him starting. Okay, so this... So Bowen... So you guys can see at the top there, Bowen has the captain's armband around his shirt or around his hanger. So what that means is that he's probably going to start today. That's what people are saying. So that's where the Bowen start rumors have come from. I mean, there could be a change, but I'm pretty sure that that does mean he starts, right? Let me just adjust the team now so you guys can see it. Will Isaac play Ropefly? I mean, because he's been pictured with the squad, unless we get news that he's on the bench, I think that he's an okay start. I feel like he's there. Apparently Wilson wasn't great, so... Thank you, Andrew. I don't feel like my hair looks that great today, but I appreciate the kind words. I don't do much with it, though. Chris, Captain Bowen or Salah guy. I have him on my main league or Captain Salah, so thinking about us copying and not taking the risk. Yeah, exactly, Chris. Sometimes it's worth just being a bit boring and blocking off second. Like that's sometimes what's worth it more. And that's what I was saying with like a 3-point lead. Yes, Kluivert or Semenyo could outperform Bowen, but maybe just block Bowen off from your two opponents. Mbeumo or Bowen or other midfielders have Salah, can't do Saka. I think Mbeumo is then a viable option. I think that he's probably edges Bowen slightly with the penalty threat. Wood to Evan Nielsen or KDB to Saka or Bowen? Wood to Evan Nielsen or KDB to Saka or Bowen? So I would do KDB out, Espen, because KDB is benched. So definitely do KDB to Saka, I think. Andy has a leak of Isaac starting, not 100% reliable. Thanks, Cohen, for kind of spreading the news, because I wouldn't have known that unless it was on Twitter. Okay, otherwise I don't see anything else here. Just a cold picture of Isaac. You guys can see that picture. I mean, that looks like a player that's about to score a hattie against Everton. I don't know about you guys. We should probably... Okay, I'm going to do a poll, yeah? And you guys can tell me which one you like out of these. You guys can vote on the poll. We have 50 minutes to go, so try and vote quite quickly if I have a request. It's just basically who do you prefer as my Eze replacement. There's 3 options: Bowen, Kluivert, or Semenyo. So you guys can vote on that poll and let me know who you prefer out of that. Bowen versus Saka. For me, I think Saka's just better, has the better fixture, plays for the better attack. It's a bit easy. Please tell me Diaz starts or not. Iberschleck, I can't tell you if Diaz starts. I don't know. He was on projected lineups. So the projected lineup for Liverpool is going to be Salah, Diaz, and Gakpo up front. And then obviously going down, it just depends. One free transfer, replace Isaac or Mamush for Evan Nielsen or maybe Watkins. So Ropefly, as far as I know, it seems like Isaac is starting and Mamush is starting. So both of them are playing. So you don't have to take one of them out. But if I was to take one of them out, it'd probably be Mamush. Unless we get news about Isaac with like 5 minutes to go or something like that. Is KDB benched? Keegan, he is benched. So if you have him, I think Saka's the best replacement. Otherwise, you can look at a Bowen, Kluivert, Semenyo. But I would say Saka looks like it's okay. Jakubus saying Moradevi at 1:15 in New Zealand. Just woke up. Defending a mini league of 22 points. Do Visa and Shaw get better points than Wood and Saliba? Yes, Visa and Shaw do definitely get better points. But if you have Wood and Saliba, they're probably going to sell them. So Go Bowen. Okay, so the majority of you guys have voted on the poll. I'll give you guys like 1 more minute to vote, and then I'm going to change the question. So make sure that you guys vote on your replacement. Currently, Bowen is leading by far, 76%. Sammy says, I'm 16 points behind. Should I swap Watkins to Mamush or Evan Nielsen? The opponent has Watkins. I'd go for Evan Nielsen. Is Wood a sell? I don't think Wood's a sell, but I think other strikers have a high potential. So if your team looks good and you have one free transfer, I don't mind Wood out for Evan Nielsen or Wood out for a Welbeck. FPL Hints tweeted that Egyptian King starts. I think it's pretty confident that Salah plays. Okay, Luis Diaz starts. Who was the person? Abishlek, you asked me. Luis Diaz starts. If you guys have Luis Diaz, you guys can keep him or buy him or whatever you want to do. So yeah, Luis Diaz starting is pretty big. Sadat says, Bowen is leading the poll, but you will go against the poll. Maybe today for Game Week 38, I do what you guys say. So I'm going to end the question there because I think the majority of you guys are obviously voting for Jared Bowen at 75%. So let's end this poll. Now you guys can tell me who you would bench. Maybe this is the one I go against you guys. So who would you bench between Murphy and Asensio? Okay, so 50-50 here. You guys can vote. Who would you bench between Murphy and Asensio? So the only thing about Murphy is that if they play that back five system, Murphy plays a bit more defense. Let me just go check if that logic is correct. Yeah. Chris Faz says, have some chocolate milk on me. Thanks for the help as always. Chris Faz, thank you for the super chat, brother. I do appreciate the continued support. And I will have some chocolate milk. Cheers to you on that one. Murphy's minutes not the best job. And also I don't like him playing at sort of a wingback position. So as you guys can see, who would you bench? 66% of you are saying Asensio. So maybe this is the one that I go against you. I have the same team as yours, just Bowen in place of Murphy and Wood in place of Visa. Suggest me a good transfer. I would do Wood out and I would bring in Evan Nielsen. That's what I would do, Nick Hill. And I think I like your team better than mine. Okay, I don't see any other team sheet news. I might wait and see what happens here. Is Isaac still a doubt? He is still a doubt because there's been no confirmed news that he's starting, but he was at the stadium, which tells you that he should be okay. Devin Little saying, been a pleasure going through the season with you. Thank you. Play Ruben Diaz or Estupinan. I would play Estupinan for the vibes. Recap team news, please. Okay, so KDB benched, Mamush starting, Luis Diaz starting, Bowen potentially looks like he's going to be starting. I think that's about as confirmed as we have it at the moment. Playing a back three of Kirill, Bradley, and Livra, would you bench any for Guardiola? I think I might bench Bradley for Guardiola, Godfried. Have the same team as yours, except for Rodgers for Asensio. 2 free transfers, what would you do? If you have 2 free transfers, I think I might take out of this team, which I think looks okay, with 2 free transfers, I might do... I still feel like Rodgers is okay. Maybe take Eze out for Bowen, bench Murphy, and then maybe take Martinez out for another goalkeeper. I think if Isaac was out, it would be a lot easier. Because if Isaac is out, you would do Isaac to Evan Nielsen and then just do one of the midfielder transfers. But with 2 free transfers, I don't exactly know what I would do, yeah. Captaining Welbeck for the major differentials is Nolan. That's definitely differential. Matoma bench. Yeah, Matoma looks like he was benched from the press conference. That was confirmed, I think, yesterday. Is KDB benched? Yes, KDB is benched. Bench Pickford or Verbruggen? I would bench Pickford. I'd play Verbruggen. 9 minutes to go, guys. Would you sell Muniz for a -4? I don't think I would do a goalkeeper transfer. I mean, a defender transfer for a -4. I'm just tweeting this to Discord quickly. Okay, I think I'm gonna wait a bit more. Mohammed says, thank you for the season, do appreciate the support. Head is saying start Mamush, Heart saying Cunha. Vince, I think you start Mamush. They've got something to play for. Okay, I don't see any other team leaks. We have 8 minutes to go. 63% of you are saying start or bench Asensio. I think I might go against you guys then. I think I might start Asensio over Murphy. Kentaro, your team looks good. I mean, I think what you could do is you could take out Saar. Maybe you take out Saar for... So captaincy is interesting that you're going for Watkins, but I think you take out Saar for like a Kluivert or a Semenyo, and then you bench Rodgers. That's what I probably would say. Captain, Saka or Salah? Philippe, if you're going to ask me, it's going to be Salah. Voyisa is saying Welbeck or Evan Nielsen. I prefer Evan Nielsen, but both are pretty good. Play Raya or Areola. I'd go for Raya, definitely. Any early team leagues? There's been a few. Connor's saying thanks for the streams and Discord, you're legend. I do appreciate the support, Connor. Kentaro, I think, just let me know. I think I answered your question there, but yeah. I think I would bench Rodgers and then take out Saar. Okay, we probably have to make our moves though. I don't want the stream to crash. No money from. I have 0 in the bank. You have 0 in the bank. Okay, can you do Saar to Semenyo? Otherwise, can you do Rodgers to Semenyo or Rodgers to Kluivert? Then that's also okay. Otherwise, your team looks fine, but you don't want to burn a transfer. News on Isaac. He's at the team slam. He's at the stadium slamming, but we don't know if he's going to start. And we have 6 minutes left. So just to give you guys the full breakdown, I'm probably going to do Eze to Bowen, bench Murphy. But I just want to see if we get anything about Isaac. Because I think Isaac to Evan Nielsen for me looks like a better move. Would you captain Salah still if Saka comes in? I think I still would go for Salah captain. Buy Saka or Bowen? I think I prefer Saka. Okay, so Bruno starts for United. Thanks, Vincent. Okay, 5 minutes to go. Actually, less than that. 4 minutes to go. Okay, so I think we should probably do the transfer then. Okay, so who is it? It's Eze out, but what we could do is we could actually just do Murphy out. Oh no, we can't do that. We don't have enough for it. Okay, restore play. We can do Eze to Bowen. So I'll back you guys on the one. I think Jared Bowen slightly. But I'm not going to back you on the other one, which is going to be benching. I think I'm going to go for a sensor just from differential appeal. Sky saying, Dave, you have Palmer. Who should I transfer out for? I also have my triple captain. Yes, you can play it on Salah, but I would bring in Saka for Palmer. You can captain Saka, but I think Salah's fine. I think triple captain on Salah is good. But there has been no news. Jakubas, thanks for the kind words. And you can go back to bed. Okay, I think we're going to do this move then. Make the transfer. Eze to Bowen. Confirm it. And then I'm going to play Bowen instead of Murphy. And I'm okay with the captaincy here. So I have done the move. Just give me 1 second while I post this to Discord quickly. And then we can go over some quick fire rounds. Elvis is saying good luck to you too. Wood or Saw? I think Chris Wood, Eagle. Yeah, and Bruno starts. I mean, that's pretty much... although I guess there could have been some rotation. And otherwise, I don't see anything else. Yeah, I don't see any other team sheet news. And we have 2 minutes to go. Actually, less than that, just less than that. Okay, cool. Rogers to Saka for -4 if chasing. At 9, I think that move looks good. And especially if you want to captain Saka. Thanks for the great season. Thanks, Andy. Thanks for always being in the streams. Zakir did Bowen to Eze to Bowen. Also not playing Rogers because the other guy has him. Fingers crossed now. Good luck, Zakir. I'm short of 0.1 for Bowen to Rung. I would go for Kluivert, I think. I think I would take the punt on Kluivert. Yeah, Tarang. So just go for Kluivert. Good luck. It's been a pleasure. Thanks, Cammy. Missed a couple of game weeks. Unfortunately, I have 2 chips, free hit and bench boost. What do you suggest to use for fun? I would use the bench boost if your bench is okay, Abhishek. But you probably have you have like 1 minute to finalize your chip. So just go with whatever one you'll have ready by game week 38's deadline. Thanks, Slamming. Would you do -4 for defender if you have bench boost active? You're fine if your defenders aren't playing. Otherwise, it's always okay. Andrew saying, thanks for a wonderful season. Connor saying, good luck. Or SH saying, thanks for the content, good luck. So everyone's just saying, thanks for the content. What to do with Bradley? No news, Vincent. I mean, I'd probably... It depends on your other defender. If your other defender's okay, then you just start him over. But if your defender's bad, then just play Bradley. Captain Salah or Saka, leading mini league. Then go Salah. Thanks for an amazing year, says Kirk. Winning my mini league by far, but in the cup final for a double this season. Kirk, good luck with that. Hanan saying good luck. Or start Eze Rogers. I think Rogers. And we have 30 seconds, so please get those teams finalized. Ait Nori or Mikalenko. Go Ait Nori. Abhishek, thanks, brother. Cheers. Keep making brilliant content. Thank you. Another question. Semenyo or Saka from -4? I would go Saka, Marco. Should I pick Martinelli over Saka's differential? I think Saka's differential enough, Jeffrey. I would still just go for him. Would you captain Saka, or is it safer with Salah? It is safer with Salah. And with that comment, guys, it is TUPD time. Time's up, pens down. If you know, you know. For the last time this FPL season. Thank you for the continued support throughout this season. It's been a little bit of a tougher one, but you guys have made it easier with your support and your questions in the chat. And thank you for supporting the stream. I will hopefully be seeing you guys for next season. I just have to kind of check over this mid-season, over this break, and just check how it's going to play out. But yeah, hopefully I do see you guys next season, and I hope that you guys win your mini leagues. If I had some help with that, you guys can take 80% of the credit, and I will take 20%. So it's still your guys' teams and everything like that. Hopefully the content has helped you out slightly. Thank you to the Legend members especially, as well as the supporters and the members, and just everyone that watched the content. It's always good having the support like I do with you guys. And let's hopefully have a great kind of after season break. I don't know if I will be going on holiday or vacation. We will see. As mentioned, I do still work. So now I'm basically just going to be doing the work that I haven't when I've been making all these videos. Only joking if my boss is watching. But it has been a pretty good season. If there are any questions that you guys want to ask after the season, you guys can now. I might give it about 5 minutes, and then we will all take a much needed break as we go and look at the team sheet news. So I'll give it a minute or two. If you guys do want to ask anything, you guys can in the chat. We will take a little bit of a chilled approach to it. Vincent, no weird questions though, please, if you're still in the stream. I'm trying to see if we got anything else after the kind of deadline. I don't see any other team sheet news. Did the website crash for anyone? I don't see. There's a few screenshots of the website crashing, but for me it looked okay. Let's at least hope so. What I will say is that I'm pretty jealous of all of you that went KDB to Saka. That looks like a pretty good move. Would you start a podcast, Marco? I don't know if I would start a podcast. I think it's a bit long to record the episodes and that sort of thing. And I won't lie to you, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. So that's probably not. Abhishek, yeah, it always does linger. Which game will be a goal fest, and separately, which team to score first? Which team to score first is a tough one, because it could literally be one of these that you don't even think about. It could just be even like a Leicester against a Bournemouth or something like that. I think the first team to score, I think it's Brighton against Spurs. And the goal fest game, I'm going to say the same thing. I think Spurs Brighton should be a goal fest. I also think Liverpool Crystal Palace will be a goal fest. What do you do for work? Oliver, I'm in data science consulting, so basically like a data scientist. Yakuba is saying it's definitely 80% no. So you guys still have to lock in the move. Clicking that button is more work than kind of bringing across content. No worries, Gunawan. Missed lots of streams this season and missed the deadline also because of work. Not a good season. So at least you have an excuse though. Because there's other people that will have had every deadline and they won't know at all. So actually that's what we'll do. I'll answer questions till we get team sheet news. So if you guys have any questions, we have about 10 more minutes. So we'll answer questions till we get team sheet news, because basically every team's coming out at the same time, right? What score for Liverpool and pool games? I think Brighton Spurs is going to be 4-2 to Brighton. And I think Liverpool is going to be 3-1 to Liverpool, hopefully. Best triple captains. Retrospectively, I think Salah's still a good triple captain. I feel like it's differential enough just to kind of go for him as a triple captain, because most people already use the triple captaincy chip. So yeah. Have you been buying any football shirts lately, says Vincent. So I got this one, but I got this one as a gift. So it's pretty nice. I definitely think the next Liverpool kits, if they are the rumored ones, I think that I'll definitely buy them. Let me just see if I can bring them up. Because I think it's Adidas now. Because there's a green kit rumored that I think looks super good. So let's see if I bring this across. Can you guys see it? Okay, cool. So you guys can see it. You just can't see the right side. I think out of these shirts, I think definitely this like green one here. You guys can kind of just see it there. I think this green one looks pretty good. I think I'll buy this one. And then I haven't bought a red kit in a while, so I might just buy the red one. So currently that's my planned football shirt cop. Let's just say that. But I have a lot of football shirts. I won't lie to you. I just don't think I've worn them on stream. But I've kind of given myself a little bit of a break. What's the best resource to learn Python for data science? So I would probably say, I don't think you have to do a specific course. There are a lot of free courses. I'd say those are also good. Like on Coursera and stuff like that. But otherwise, just YouTube. YouTube videos are pretty good. But now with the rise of generative AI, it's so easy to learn through that. So I would say, I think the way you learn coding has changed, because now you might not even have to do the coding from scratch. I think it's good to have an understanding of it, but I mean, you're going to plug it into whatever engine or whatever ChatGPT, Claude, that sort of thing that your company uses or that you use, and it's going to generate code for you. So you don't have to build it from scratch. So I would say use generative AI as your learning tool, but also the tool that you code with. That's what I would say. Adidas Originals look good. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy that Adidas managed to change. S8, I agree with you, Quibus. Thank you for that one. Final Fantasy Challenge. Final five, it seems. 1 goalkeeper, 1 defender, 2 attack. Okay, so you're talking about for this specific game week? Okay, so if I don't have a limit on the teams, but I'll probably, let's just assume you can only pick 3 teams. I would say my 1 defender would be Kirkes. My goalkeeper would be Raya. My 2 mids would be Salah and Saka. And my 2 forwards would be Evan Nielsen and Welbeck. That's what I'd say. Can you do... Okay, so who would miss out on the Champions League? Okay, I can't... Oh, wait, I have to end this poll. Okay, let me end this poll. Okay, so if you guys don't know, let me maybe bring up SofaScore so that you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Because I don't think everyone knows the Premier League table off by heart. Okay, so... Actually, I can just probably bring this up on Google. Then it might be easier. Okay, can bring this up on screen. Okay, so let me know if you guys can see this. Okay, you can't. Okay, let me just adjust. Okay, so the gist of it is that, as you can see from the points, Arsenal have locked in. They haven't locked in second, but they've locked in basically progressing. So we can do a poll about who misses out on Champions League. Or basically, like, who do you think is going to qualify, but the inverse of that. So who misses out on Champs? And there's a few options here. So Forest, I guess. But that could be more than, there's more than one team, right? Okay, so are we gonna exclude Forest from this one? Yeah, this is a bit tough. Okay, so Man City might. I'm just trying to see what teams are there. There's a bunch of teams that will miss out. So let's exclude Forest maybe from the debate. Because Chelsea and Forest basically like nullify each other. So Newcastle, City, Villa. Okay, so you guys can vote on that poll. I'll leave the table up. Obviously, Nottingham Forest can also qualify. They're not out of it, but I think in terms of those top 3 teams, it might be slightly better. One person voted. The first vote was for Man City. So whoever voted first is definitely not a Man City fan. 3 out of 5. Okay, so actually that would have probably been a better poll, but you can't vote for multiple things. Who is a better captain? Salah, Mbeumo, or Visa? I would have gone Salah out of those options. Hate Man City, mate, says off cut. Okay. A lot of people are saying Chelsea. So if you think Chelsea miss out, that's what? That's a draw? That's a draw, or that's a draw against Forest. So that takes Forest to 66. Takes Chelsea to 67. So that means Newcastle, Aston Villa win. Okay, I get you. A lot of people are saying Chelsea miss out. So in terms of my prediction, I think obviously Liverpool, Arsenal, I think Man City win, I think Newcastle win, I think Villa win. And therefore I feel like Chelsea, Spurs, Nottingham Forest miss out. But I don't know. Because if Chelsea, score and Villa score, the goal difference is quite massive. It's 20-9. So if Chelsea score, they're basically through. Cammy's saying, hope you have an amazing break. I'm heading to Ibiza in a couple weeks. Hopefully bump into slot and get some Game Week 1 team news. Take it easy. Thanks, Cammy. Travel safe, brother. If you have the time, throw out some predictions for all the games. If I win my predictions, I'm second. Okay, let me go over the team. Let me go back to the fixtures. Okay, so let's go over the first game. So Bournemouth-Leicester, I think it's going to be 2-0 to Bournemouth. Fulham-Man City, I think it's 2-1 to Man City. Ipswich-West Ham, I think it's going to be 3-1 to West Ham. Liverpool-Crystal Palace, 3-1 to Liverpool. Aston Villa-United, 2-0 to Villa. Newcastle-Everton, 2-0 to Newcastle. Chelsea-Nottingham Forest, I think it's going to be 2-1 to Chelsea. Southampton-Arsenal, 3-1 to Arsenal. Spurs, Brighton, I think it's going to be 4-2 as mentioned to Brighton. And Wolves, Brentford, I think this one might be 1-1. Let's go for a draw to end it off with. But you guys can also give your predictions if you disagree with any of mine. Thinking about writing a book, how to be good at FPL? No, I'm not thinking about that. Rumors somewhere that, okay, but actually we can go see if there's any early rumors. You're asking a question. Oh, Trent is starting apparently. So if you guys have Trent, probably not, but if you have Bradley, that probably means he's benched. Okay, never mind. We actually have a different team. So the Liverpool team looks like Alisson, Bradley, Konate, Virgil Robertson, Gravenberch, Jones, Soboslai, Salah, Luis Diaz, Gakpo. So the Trent starting news seems like it was wrong. Yeah, so Bradley looks like he starts then. Which team's t-shirt are you wearing? I'm wearing the Liverpool. I think it's either their away kit or their third kit. Okay, so it says Declan Rice will be the Arsenal captain today. So does that mean that Saka or Odegaard are out? Okay, I'm honestly interested to see what the news is. I think the Arsenal team sheet is probably the first one that we're going to see. More 2-1s for me and Brentford 2-1. Okay, yeah, that's probably the more... Like, usually on score predictions, you go for, like, lesser scores. I just think for game week 38, you might have some fun with it. Okay, I'm going to load the Arsenal one. I'm going to load the Arsenal account and see if we get anything. Oh my days, Saka's benched. Saka's not starting. Saka's benched. Oh my days. So, I mean, that's like, I think we've got pretty lucky with that one then in terms of our team. That's insane. Oh my days. Okay, so let me see if there's anything else that's dramatic. Okay, so Isaac starts. Isaac starts. Murphy starts. Barnes starts. Okay, so it looks like that back five again. Am I right there? Kluivert starts. Semenyo starts. Evan Nielsen starts. Are there any other upsets? That's all I can basically see. So maybe the Man City news? Okay, so Haaland plays. Okay, Ruben Diaz also starts for those of you that were asking. Yo, the sucker benching is insane. Oh, Asensio. Flip, I haven't even seen that. I'm forgetting what players I have in my team. Welbeck not in the squad. Aston Villa haven't posted their team sheet news. Am I right in saying that? Okay, I think my Twitter is being super buggy because I can't load anything. Okay, oh well, Danny Welbeck is not in the squad. Davey, where are you seeing all of this? Okay, so FPL Maverick, if you go on Twitter, each Twitter account from the teams has posted their team news. Okay, so Eze starts, Mateta starts, Sar starts, Munoz starts. So it's a pretty strong team to take on that's Crystal Palace have put up. Does anyone have the Aston Villa news? And Estupiñán's also benched. Okay, Asensio starting. I see it here. Okay, so Asensio starting, Rogers starting, Watkins is starting, Konza starts, Martinez starts. Okay, so at least Asensio starts. Okay, cool. No worries, FPL Maverick. Damn, so the sucker news is, that's insane because he was very popular. He was super popular with people's transfers. That's unlucky though. Like, obviously I don't own Saka, so I'm like, okay, it is what it is, but that's insane. But yeah, guys, thanks for staying so long. I think it was worth it seeing the reaction of kind of Saka being benched and that sort of thing. I'm going to let you guys get back to your Sundays. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. Let's see what happens in the next kind of hour as those games do start. Paqueta bench, so Bowen on pens. Cohen, thank you for that insight. That's very important. But once again, thanks for the season, guys. Do appreciate you. And hopefully the green eyes in your favor. But for the time being, I'm signing off. For the last time this season, it's been Navy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.